Today, we are going to be talking about stratagems. Specifically, the best stratagems for fighting the bots. Stratagems are the most important thing for a Helldiver to master, we all know that. Someone who is proficient with their stratagems can turn the tide of a battle. But the first step is equipping the right ones, and that's what we're here to talk about. This is a sequel to my last video, the best weapons for Botdivers, which also includes support weapons, so we're not talking about those here, even though they are also stratagems. If you want to talk about weapons instead, then click that little box in the top right of your screen now, right now. If not, then stick around and let's talk about stratagems. We are going to get started at the Orbital Cannons, with my first pick being the Orbital 120mm HE Barrage. This is the perfect solution to bot outposts, or anywhere that has a cluster of enemy buildings. If you toss it right into an enemy area, it will easily destroy most, if not all, of the buildings in there. It has the perfect radius, large enough to devastate the enemy without making the area around it dangerous. If you compare it to the 380mm, it doesn't have the same explosive effect, but I find it to be much better at controlled destruction. It's not overkill, it's just the right amount. It is the perfect size for most bot outposts and even some bot fortresses, so I like it more than the 380. I feel like the 380 is a bit overkill sometimes, so this is my preferred option. Next up is the Orbital Walking Barrage. In my opinion, this is pretty much an improved version of the 380mm. It fires the exact same payload, but it does it in a way that is much better if you know how to use it. It's essentially a 380 that progressively moves in the direction that you threw it, making it great for slowly pushing into fortified positions. It will often take out enemy emplacements, things like turrets and cannons, while still leaving enough room for you and your team to follow through and mop up whatever is left. There are a lot of great ways to use it. It opens up new tactical opportunities for you, especially on the bot front, so this is another great recommendation for orbital barrages, but you do need to learn how to use it effectively. When you do, it's a great option. Next up, we have the Orbital Laser. The Orbital Laser is one of the most devastating stratagems in the whole game. The tracking on it is so good that it can seek out new life and new civilizations like it's the goddamn Starship Enterprise.
Commander, tell me about your sexual organs.
Not a chance.
You can toss it into a bot fortress and it will intelligently take out their buildings and their heaviest enemies. That means hulks, cannons, turrets, fabricators, everything. It's not just great against the bots, it's great against everything in the game. There are a few downsides though. The cooldown is very long, 5 minutes by default, and you can only use it 3 times per mission, so you better make good use of it every time. Now we're going to change over to the Hangar, with my first pick in the Hangar being the Eagle Strafing Run. This is one of the most versatile offensive stratagems in the game. It's great for taking out waves of enemies, and it's fantastic for destroying enemy buildings. The call-in time is super quick, only 2.5 seconds from the moment your beacon hits the ground. The Eagle can store 4 of them by default, which can be increased to 5 if you upgrade your ship. The damage is fantastic for something that can be used so often, and the destructive power should not be underestimated. I used to think that the Eagle Strafing Run sucked, but I got a bunch of comments telling me I was wrong, and yeah, they were right. I was totally wrong. This is one of my most used stratagems now, and it has been for the entire year. Next up is the Eagle 500 kilogram bomb. What needs to be said about the 500 kilogram bomb? It is great at what it does. If you want a giant explosion dropped on your enemy's head, then this is one of the best options in the game. Ever since they buffed the explosive radius and the damage, this is one of the best ways to take out a large group of enemies. The radius isn't enormous or anything, but it's still more than enough to get the job done when you need a horde of enemies wiped out. Plus, it's still great for taking out enemy buildings, but you can bring better tools for that than this. It always works in a pinch. You can use it against pretty much anything in the game and it will deal some good damage to it, so the 500 kilogram is still good. What needs to be said? Next up is the fast recon vehicle. Even though I think this stratagem has a lot of flaws, it's the only multi-person vehicle in the game, and that counts for a lot in my book. It's great at speeding across the map, saving you time and cutting out the fat of a mission. If you can survive the ride, that is. You need to be very careful while driving it. If you hit an obstacle too hard, you will throw your gunner out of their seat, and potentially get them killed, or maybe even get your whole squad killed. It happens a lot, trust me. But it's still a great stratagem, and it's worth taking if you have a good driver with you. It also comes armed with an HMG for the gunner to use, which is one of my favorite support weapons, so I love being the gunner. But I don't love being thrown out of the gunner's seat, so make sure that if you're driving it, you aren't taking corners too harsh or plowing into walls. Please don't do that. Now we are moving on to the bridge, with my first pick at the bridge being the HMG emplacement. This is definitely one of the most fun stratagems in the game. The effectiveness of the HMG emplacement is very dependent on your ability to place it in a good spot, somewhere that has line of sight to the enemies without making yourself too exposed. It's great for defending an area against a crowd of enemies. The damage you can put out with it is incredible, and you can take on just about any enemies with it. Definitely try this out if you haven't already. It's tons of fun, and it's pretty damn effective. There's nothing like the HMG emplacement. I love taking it whenever I have the opportunity to. Next up, we have the Shield Generator Relay. The Shield Generator Relay is definitely the most useful against the bots, because when you're fighting a faction that is known for ranged explosives, this thing can protect you like nothing else can. It's like a better version of the bubble shield from Halo, since you can actually shoot out of it, but the enemies can't shoot into it. So you can make some awesome one-way shooting galleries with it, and lock down areas for you and your team to catch your breath. The cooldown is extremely short too, only 90 seconds by default, which can be decreased to just 70 seconds by upgrading your ship. When you consider that the maximum uptime for it is 40 seconds, that means you can have it protecting you half of the time you're in a mission. This is incredible value for something that is so easy to use. Don't sleep on the Shield Generator Relay. Now we are going to take a look at the Engineering Bay, with my first pick in the Engineering Bay being the Supply Pack. This is definitely one of the best backpacks in the entire game. It gives you everything you need to fuel yourself during a mission: ammo, grenades, and stims. These are the three things that give Helldivers the ability to do their job. When you have the supply pack, you won't need to scavenge for supplies, and you won't be needing resupplies nearly as often. And if you're a good teammate, your allies won't need to worry about anything except fighting the enemies. This is one of the best stratagems in the game for the raw utility it provides, so consider taking this if you're not sure what to wear on your back. Next up, we have anti-tank mines. These are my favorite mines to use against the bots. They're a lot more useful than you might think. The most unique thing about them is that they don't detonate for smaller units, including Helldivers. So you can run right through an anti-tank minefield and be fine, just as long as a Hulk isn't chasing you. The bots have plenty of heavy enemies, so this minefield is pretty well suited for dealing with their military. Go try it out. You can make some pretty cool traps with it, because the mines won't detonate for you, so you can lure enemies into it, or maybe even shoot the mines to detonate them when enemies are standing around them. Next up, we have the Shield Generator Pack. This is generally the best option for personal protection. It defends you from all angles and recharges on its own, so you can just put it on and not have to worry about anything. It can and will save your life in many situations. It's great to pair with something like a machine gun. You can keep sustained fire on your enemies and still be able to tank some direct hits from them. I assume that everyone has used it at least once, but if you haven't, you've made a mistake. This is definitely one of the best backpacks in the whole game. Now we are moving on to the Robotics Workshop, with my first pick here being the Machine Gun Sentry. This is one of the most versatile stratagems in the game. It has good damage and a decent fire rate. It turns quickly and isn't likely to kill you. The best thing about the Machine Gun Sentry is definitely the cooldown. It's only 90 seconds by default, which can be decreased to 77 seconds by upgrading your ship. That is an incredibly short cooldown for a sentry. So it's good against every faction in the game, not just bots. It fires medium pen rounds, so it can take on most enemies in the game. I use it all the time. It puts a massive dent in the enemy forces if you constantly call it in like I do. And that is how you should use it. Constantly call it in and let it defend wherever you are at that exact moment. Next up, we have the Gatling Sentry. This is pretty much a heavier version of the Machine Gun Sentry, and it's just as good. It fires the same ammo as the Machine Gun Sentry. It fires much faster and holds vastly more ammo than the Machine Gun Sentry. Almost 3 times the amount. 16 times the detail. The only real drawback is that it has a much longer cooldown, 150 seconds by default, which can be decreased to 128 seconds by upgrading your ship. So this is better for defending a singular area, while the Machine Gun Sentry can be thrown about almost once per minute, making it better for moving about the map and calling it as you see fit. There are reasons to take each of these sentries, or you could always take both if you really want to. Next up, we have the Guard Dog. This is the standard Guard Dog, and it's still my favorite out of the Guard Dog variants. This thing does such a good job of killing enemies that it will often kill enemies before you can aim at them, or kill them before you even know they exist. It is great at covering your back and watching your flanks, and giving you some extra firepower during a head-on assault. If you have ever wanted a 5-man team, this is as close as you're gonna get. Next up, we have the Autocannon Sentry. This is one of the most powerful sentries in the game, but that doesn't come without a cost. The damage is great, and it can take out lots of enemies in a single hit, and it has anti-tank penetration. Plus, it has a small area of effect, allowing it to damage and stagger multiple enemies at once. The projectile speed is great too. The shots connect with enemies almost instantly after being fired. The main drawback of the Autocannon Sentry is the turning speed. It is incredibly slow, even after you upgrade the turning speed on your ship. So, to use it correctly, you must place it in a good position where it won't be easily destroyed. It needs time to effectively target enemies and take them out. Keep it at range. Make sure that there aren't too many angles where it can be shot at. When you know how to place the Autocannon Sentry, it is incredible. Next up, we have the Rocket Sentry. The Rocket Sentry is very similar to the Autocannon Sentry. They're both slow yet powerful sentries with anti-tank penetration. The Rocket Sentry deals more direct damage and has more ammo, but at the cost of projectile speed and splash damage. You want to use it in the same way you use the Autocannon Sentry. Place it somewhere relatively safe and let it lay down fire on enemies from a distance. Watch out for the backblast. Standing behind the Rocket Sentry can ragdoll you over and over again, so don't stand behind it unless you like rolling around on the ground. Next up, we have the EMS Mortar Sentry. This is a very underrated stratagem in my opinion. It's not perfect, but it's pretty damn good. It's definitely the best out of the 2 Mortar Sentries because this one can't kill you, not directly at least. It fires off shells that stun and slow enemies, stopping them in their tracks and allowing you to take them out. Since the EMS mortar doesn't need a direct line of sight to the target, it's great for defending a fortified area against bots. You can slow down their advance and make them into easier targets. One of the best things about this sentry is how efficient it is. The downtime on it is very slim. You will be able to constantly call it in and defend any area you move to, much like the machine gun sentry. Don't sleep on the EMS mortar. Just because it doesn't do direct damage doesn't mean that it's bad at defending an area. Next up, we have the Emancipator Exosuit. This is definitely my favorite out of the two mechs. It's incredibly accurate and versatile, dealing great damage with each shot and penetrating almost any armor. I love to use this thing. It is so much fun to wreck bots with it. You can just take out all kinds of enemies and easily destroy buildings from a distance. It's super accurate and easy to use. Just hold the triggers down and let the autocannons do the rest. I can't recommend the Emancipator enough. Now, we're getting into Warbond territory, and we're going to take a look at Urban Legends, and my only pick for Urban Legends is the Anti-Tank Emplacement, also known as the Lawn Chair. This is another great option for destroying enemy buildings at range. You can use it to take out pretty much anything if you have the patience for it. It's very slow to turn, so you don't want to be in a direct fight when you're using it, but if you're using it to snipe enemy objectives, then this is pretty much your best option. You can use it to take out command bunkers, fabricators, bulk fabricators. This thing can kill anything in the game. It's great for those factory strider convoys too. You can just pelt them with it over and over again. The lawn chair is not a very versatile stratagem. It's not good in a close quarters fight or even in most fights in general. You're very vulnerable when you're using it, but it is very useful in the right situations, like sniping objectives and buildings and heavy enemies. Nothing beats it in that regard. Now we are moving on to Servants of Freedom, with the only stratagem in that warbond being the Hellbomb Backpack. Everyone should know what this does by name alone. You strap it on, you arm it, and you run it off into the enemies. But the best way to use it is against stratagem jammers. Since you can equip it outside of the radius and run it up to the tower, you don't need to deactivate it. It's smart to have at least one person running this in high-level bot missions. You are almost guaranteed to run into a stratagem jammer on anything higher than difficulty 7. So having someone that can easily take it out is a privilege. But you need to make sure the bomb gets there, and if necessary, you may need to pick it up yourself. And now we're going to look at the newest warbond, Control Group, with my first pick here being the Laser Sentry. I covered the Laser Sentry in my review of the Control Group warbond, but I still want to talk about it here. It's great for defending an area against small groups of enemies. Since it doesn't have an ammo pool like most sentries do, it will instead fire until it overheats and explodes. So while it can be easily overwhelmed by large forces, it excels at long-term defense against scattered groups. Plus, it has heavy armor penetration, and it's able to set enemies on fire. So there is a lot to love about the Laser Sentry. Our final stratagem is the Warp Pack. This is the highlight of the Control Group warbond. Being able to teleport short distances is a blessing. You can use it to teleport through obstacles, telefrag enemies, and even enter bunkers without the help of another Helldiver. Off topic, but they really should let Seaf troops help us open bunkers, but that's a topic for another time. The Warp Pack is a one-of-a-kind item. It's a simple idea that lets you accomplish many things with it. It speeds up your travel, helps you defend yourself, helps you attack enemies. It really all just depends on how you use it. I can't recommend the Warp Pack enough. If you haven't unlocked it already, you should consider getting Control Group. The Warp Pack helps you farm super credits by helping you get into bunkers, which is a massive bonus, so definitely pick this up if you haven't already. As a bot diver, these are my favorite stratagems to bring on that front, but what about you? Let me know your favorites in the comments. Make sure to like this video and subscribe for more awesome videos on Helldivers 2. That's all I have for today, so this is the SES Prophet of Dawn signing off.
Not this time.